So I want to talk a little bit further about this $600 rule that was postponed to 2023, and it may shed a little bit of light on maybe what's really going on. So let's talk about that on the other side. So without any further ado, let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy, and I want to just basically show you about an 8-9 minute clip of a video from a channel that I watch, and it's clear value, one word, and then the next word tax. So clear value tax, and they have about 1.6 million viewers. And this guy I watch quite often. He's very spot on about his analysis, and I just thought it would be a pretty good idea maybe to bring you maybe a different perspective as to what could, and I just make sure you guys understand what could be happening and why this is happening, to give you guys maybe some hope in 2023. So I'm going to get over to it. So let's cut over to the video.
And the IRS, I mean, they're basically admitting to this new reality, but I want to give you an update on the entire situation. So the reason why I'm saying that is because it may appear to you like they're just postponing this. They're pushing this off by 1 year, the new rule change. They're trying to give the impression like the IRS, they weren't ready to implement this. Like, oh, we need one more year. We need more time to, get ready for this. That's how it appears, but that is not what's really going on. I want to tell you what's truly happening behind the scenes. In 2023, the politicians will rewrite the rules. The IRS is delaying this new rule change so that when the politicians get back from vacation, when they're back in January, the politicians can fix this mess the mess that they created. So what I'm saying is that the IRS, they're just stalling. So I want you to understand, this is how badly the politicians screwed up. So I want to point this out to you. Do you realize, and just think about this, by law, the IRS must implement this new $600 rule. Don't get me wrong, I do not agree with this new $600 rule change. However, it is the law. The IRS is legally obligated to enact this, but they're not. So that means that the IRS is literally breaking the law. According to HR 1319, the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, the IRS must implement this new $600 rule for tax year 2022. So they can't just brush it off like, oh, we're going to delay it, like no worries. So the situation is so screwed up that the IRS says that they're simply just not going to do it. But the IRS does not have the legal authority to delay the law. So listen, nobody else is going to say it, so I'm going to say it. I find it fascinating that the IRS is above the law. So there, I said it. Now, I want to clarify the situation for you with all the details. I want to make this absolutely crystal clear because, of course, this is going to affect this tax filing season. In 2021 and prior years, this is how it worked. You would receive a 1099-K tax form if you receive payments of $20,000 or more in a year from a third-party payment processor. So in other words, if you receive $20,000 or more from PayPal or Venmo or Cash App, etc., then you would get this form. In 2022, they changed the rules. They lowered the threshold to $600. So from $20,000 to $600. And this is funny, so get ready for this. They said the reason for lowering the threshold from $20,000 to $600 was to go after wealthy tax cheats. So that was the narrative that they were pushing. So I just want to say this. This is so wrong on so many levels, and I'll tell you why. And this is probably why the IRS decided to scrap this for this tax filing season. So this is what would have happened. This would have driven up the cost of you doing your tax return. So if you use TurboTax or any at-home tax software, then you would have been required to upgrade to the more expensive version. So you would have basically have to pay for the add-on to do this. If you go to H&R Block or if you have an accountant, then they would have charged you more for this. This would have increased your tax return complexity, well, at least for most people, and this would have triggered an additional 10 million plus 1099K tax forms. This would have triggered over 1 million additional IRS notices, and if you were audited because of this, then the burden of proof, it would have been on you, and you would have been guilty until proven innocent. This new $600 rule, it was a horrible idea. I mean, what part of what I just said sounds appealing to you? Is it the more expensive tax preparation, or is it the IRS audits? So I want to say two things. One, thank God. And two, I don't know what the politicians were thinking. So to everyone watching, basically false alarm. They're delaying the rule change until next year, so tax year 2023, when that's going to be when you file your tax return in 2024. However, what's truly going on is that the politicians are trying to increase the threshold. So Democrats are trying to increase the threshold from the current $600 to $5,000. The Republicans, they're trying to get it back to the $20,000. And they already got the ball rolling on this. We're talking about both the Republicans and the Democrats. The Democrats' bill is called the Cut the Red Tape for Online Sales Act. The Republican bill is called the Stop the Nosy Obsession with Online Payments Act. So it sounds like I'm joking and making up the titles of these bills, but you can fact check it for yourself. Those are the names of the bills. And I do want to say this because I mentioned this in my previous video. It looks like all that money that eBay spent on lobbying in DC, it actually paid off. So mission accomplished. eBay was like, okay, the $600 rule change, it's going to hurt our business. It's going to scare off the casual sellers on our platform, and we're going to make less corporate profits. Well, the lobbying money in DC, it clearly did not go to waste. So the people that are relieved about this change of heart by the IRS, you can partially thank eBay for this. And just so you know, this video, it's not sponsored by eBay or by FTX. So here's what the IRS said, and I quote, "The additional time will help reduce confusion during the upcoming 2023 tax filing season and provide more time for taxpayers to prepare and understand the new reporting requirements." So that was from IRS Commissioner Douglas O'Donnell. The IRS Deputy Commissioner said, and I quote, "We are not looking to nickel and dime a taxpayer over a $100 couch on eBay. This is not the future state of the IRS." So listen, here's the thing. This is what gets me. My reaction is, even though the IRS is not looking to nickel and dime American taxpayers, that is what is inevitably going to happen. So I don't care what the IRS's intention is. What I care about is what is actually going to happen. And yes, American taxpayers will be nickel and dimed. And if you notice, the IRS Deputy Commissioner specifically mentioned selling a couch on eBay. So good job, eBay. So ultimately, just don't worry about this whole new $600 rule change for this coming tax season, because the IRS, they officially called it off. So if you weren't even aware of this new rule change for 2022, then just pretend like it never happened, because that's basically what happened. The new Congress comes in January, but that's not going to change anything because both parties, Republicans and Democrats, they are interested in raising the $600 threshold. It's just a matter of $5,000 or $20,000.
So what do you guys think? What do you think about his hypothesis, based on information he's done his own research on this, with the idea that maybe both Democrats and Republicans are trying to buy time and figure out a better way to implement this without it being such a low number? Now, regardless of how you guys feel, I thought it was a good idea maybe just to share this with you so you can maybe draw your own conclusions. And if you're one of those sellers that are kind of on the fence, that maybe you don't want to spend a whole lot of money trying to maybe do your taxes in 2024 for 2023 because you're maybe thinking about doing a little side hustle, right? And just too much trouble. Well, I mean, you're supposed to pay taxes on it anyway, but nonetheless, I thought it would be something that would be beneficial to the smaller seller to at least know what could be happening, and for most sellers, just to be aware of what's happening in the reselling world. So comment down below, let me know your thoughts on this, and how likely is this thing to to change again between now and the end of the year. I mean, we're only a couple days from 2023, so I mean, they were able to kick the can down the road at the end of 2022, so who knows what they're able to do. But I want to know your thoughts down below. Now, if you enjoy this type of content, it's not something I normally do, but I thought it would be interesting. Hit that like button, guys. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy my channel. I'd appreciate that. And go check out Clear Value, one word, and then the next word, tax. So Clear Value Tax, go check out his channel. He provides a lot of economic and tax-based information. The guy's a tax guy, so he knows more than I do. So go check him out if you're interested in hearing more as to what he thinks and says on issues like this and other tax or economic related issues. So, you know, understanding how tax rules affect you as a seller, it's yet another example of how sometimes flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have an excellent rest of your day. Oh, go check out the live stream. We're going to have it at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. That's today. If you're watching this when I drop the video, Friday. And if not, you go check out the the replay. But either way, whether I see you there or not, have an excellent rest of your day. Take care, everyone.